to week 13 and 14 of my becoming an artist journey. So obviously there's a lot going on. I have a bunch of guests coming this month, and I'm currently dog sitting for 2 greyhounds, which gives me 3 huge greyhounds in the house. I will insert a clip here if I can get them to all be in the same place at the same time. I am also trying to paint this room, which is my living room. I will put some clips probably after this intro, and that involves patching vents that are no longer used for the HVAC system and rectifying all of the stuff that the previous owners did to the house that is psycho and dumb. That is why I'm doing a phone intro this time, because I simply don't have setting up a camera in me. I'm so exhausted. Okay, so we're just going to get right to it. We're going to skip to the inspiration stuff and get into the art content and the room painting content and the living life when things are crazy content. I believe we have already talked about I did finish An Ember in the Ashes, and then I started and completed the second one, which is A Torch Against the Night. This really suffered from middle book syndrome, and the female characters really fell flat compared to the first one. They lost a lot of their kind of grit and determination. But I did start the third, and which is A Reaper at the Gates. And if this is bad, I will probably stop reading. But if this is okay, I will read the last book in the series and see how it goes. But so far, I think we're getting it back. I also was 40th in line for A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab at the library. So this is going to be my book club read with my friend. So you'll see how those go. As far as games go, there is a new season of Marvel Rivals, so I have been playing that a little bit. I've been playing maybe a couple games a week. I really don't have time right now. I am also 72% done with my Stardew Valley completionist run, so I'm really focusing on that when I have a little bit of spare time. It has been just so hot here that I've been having to walk the dogs late at night, which kind of throws off my whole evening of plans and ability to get a lot done. As far as art goes, so this week I'm looking to do a study so I'll draw 4 things up, and then I will render them following the style of artists that I like. So I'm definitely going to do this with, I don't know if it's QinniArt or QinniArt. I will put her something here. She was really, really inspirational to me for a long time when I was making art before. So definitely gonna do that. Then I'm also gonna definitely do one inspired by Lord Gree, who I probably own the most Lord Gree merch or things from her shop, so that only fits. Then I think I have 4 other artists that are in the maybe list. So Jaw Cooper, I could do a line work study. I will link all these guys in the description. Karo.Line.Art, whose art I've been really liking lately. Pipe as art, because I really want to draw fruit, and the way that she does fruit is really nice. Or Faunwood. So these are all pretty big accounts that I've followed for a very long time. We will see how we end up. As far as art is going, this week I started Anatomy 1 last week, so I'm continuing Anatomy 1 this week. We did the Loomis head method, head construction method, which I am seeing why there's a lot of critique on it, because a lot of it is just kind of arbitrary. But that being said, my head construction has gotten better since starting to follow it, so if it works, it works, I guess. I am hoping to have time to do more school, and I believe I am on ear construction, which is great because I'm not good at drawing ears, so that will be good. I am finding that digital art is just not working for me. I am really liking just putting pen to paper, and that is not ideal because designing things without a lot of texture, but like I know people do it, but it'd be so much easier if I just like digital art, but I'm just having trouble with it. So I'm just gonna keep going with what feels good right now, and then we will see if I develop a digital art workflow later on. But that is all I've got. We're going to jump into the art content and the house content now. Bye! Good morning. So sorry if this audio is bad. I finally lost one of my earbuds. I'll talk about that later, but so I've just got one, so I don't know what the mic's gonna sound like. So currently we're working on, I did some head studies, which I had also done a few the first day, but we did some head studies, and then I'm doing like style studies. So I'm drawing something based off of like a reference, and then I'm pulling up the art of an artist and then kind of like shifting it to fit so that I can see kind of how they do stuff and how it works. So this, I pulled the hair design, which I really like how wispy the hair looks without being that hard to draw. I pulled the little star elements and the color palette, and then like fish, lots of fish. So now I'm doing one for Lord Gree next, and then I don't know who else I'm gonna do, but we will see. So this is what I'm gonna try to do today on my lunch break at work. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill in some of the darkest parts with navy, and then I'm going to grab the gray and do the rest of the line art, because what I am seeing is that I'm kind of following one of the concrete angels that Lord Gree did, and she does a lot of her line art in gray for those. So while I normally wouldn't do gray, that's what I'm going to do for this study. So I'll be right back. One accidentally aggressively erased paper bending later. We have some lines. Still not super sold on the concrete vibe thing, but we are gonna give it a go. I need like a warm gray too. These are so different from each other. Ah! Okay, so I added in my kind of initial colors, and honestly it's looking really dull, which is annoying. I don't know, frustrating, but I'm just gonna keep going and hope that I find something during the process. Okay, it's starting to get somewhere. I have brought in pencil, which I don't think Lord Gree does a lot, but most of the stuff that I'm following is either digital or paint, so she has a lot more options than I do, and I'm just not good enough at markers. So I added just some green. I don't have the hair done yet. I've only kind of started working on the face, and I'm starting, I feel like, to get closer to what I'm looking for, and it's starting to look a little less dead, which is good. So I'm gonna try to figure out the hair and the hands and this little flower that looks very muddy right now, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm ready to do the hair, and I figured what better way to copy style of someone than to use their tutorial. So Oh no, she had one about stone and stuff. Oops. Well. Okay, so we're gonna follow this together and finish up this little study. Okay, so 2 are done. I did QinniArt and then Lord Gree. And so far what I'm liking about this one is I like the color harmony. So her lines were all purple and then her color palettes would then kind of be like within that realm. So I liked her color, and then I also like how flowy her hair is. So I like the flow to that. Then for Lord Gree, I like how she really lets a lot of her sketch texture come through. I also like the way that it's like she pretty much leaves rim lighting on stuff when there's shadows, and the jaw got a little bit not good, but like this part in here turned out okay. And then the hair, she just kind of doesn't have the shadows go all the way to the edges, so that it's almost like everything is always... What I think I'd like to keep from Lord Gree so far is the shadows being rimlit, essentially. And I like the crack vibe, so I'm going to try to keep that. And then for this one, I really like, obviously I just said, the hair, how it's done, and then also the kind of more whimsical color palettes. That's what I've, I guess, learned, or things I want to continue doing so far. I'm gonna probably, if I can fit it, God, I wish that I hadn't erased so aggressively and bent the paper. Down here, I'm going to try to do maybe a Karo.Line.Art thing over here, and then a Jaw Cooper thing over here. a spring room. Hello. Okay, so it is now week 14, technically, but I did make the decision to move week 14 of art school to next week because, as I have mentioned before, I think in this video, this month is absolutely insane. This house has been like a construction zone for 2 weeks, trying to get this project done before our guests come at the end of the month. So it's just, if I do art school this week, I will leave my partner to do all of the cleaning and all of the preparing for guests stuff alone, which does not feel fair. So I'm going to move art school to next week and make next week week 14, and then this will just be bonus week. Obviously, I put in a little bit of stuff before this during our room project. In the meantime, I do have book updates. So I finished A Reaper at the Gates. That was book 3. We have 3 main characters, so we have Elias, Leia, and then Helene. And all 3 of them have different plot lines that all do technically interweave into the same overarching story. I really think Helene's is the most interesting, and I think she's the most interesting of the 3. Helene definitely held that book for me. So we are working on A Darker Shade of Magic, which we already talked about. This is a buddy read or a book club read with my friend. We are reading 5 chapters per week, so that should be pretty manageable, which is great because I picked up the last book in the Ember and the Ashes series, which is A Sky Beyond the Storm, and it's a little chunkier than I thought it was going to be, which is fine. So between the 2 of these, I'm going to be busy. I really would love to get through both of these by the end of the month, but we shall see. Hello. Okay, so it's week 14. I'm sitting in the den at my work desk, but I wanted to do just a little art update, and I didn't want to just throw you guys into it, so let's go look. Okay, so I was thinking about maybe trying to do my first little print series, and I wanted to do like animals. I've seen a couple people do this now where they do like animals pressed all the way up into the corners and to make them add some tension. And I kind of wanted to do this with mythical horses because horse girl. So I did some sketches of a few ideas, and I'm gonna start with this like hippocampus one, but I was freaking out because I have sectioned off a little bit of this page to do the first one. Should I be doing this on Bristol board? Probably, but I'm too nervous. I sectioned off this piece of paper to do it and freaked out because I was like, I like the way that this sketch looks. I don't know how I feel about the little whale fin, but we'll see. I like how the sketch looks, but I started like trying to map out how it was going to go on this page and completely freaked out. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people thumbnail things and get it to how they like it and then start over. I'm not ready for that. So what I did was I went in, oh God, this looks like it's going to be too big. Oh no, I went in Photoshop. Oh, it is too big. Well, I went in Photoshop and I scanned the drawing and I put it in Photoshop, and then I split it across 2 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper so that I could essentially trace this so that I do not cry real tears trying to replicate what I had already done. It might be too big, but we'll see how it goes. I will keep you posted. I taped it together, and I really thought I was being clever by having it have some overlap, but it looks like the print added a margin and got rid of the overlap, so now I have a gap, but that's okay. It does kind of look like it's gonna fit, but I'm worried. I'm kind of wondering if it's too close to the edges since it's going like where the margins are that I built in, and then I'm gonna have to put marker all the way to the edges of the paper, which I don't love. So I'm trying to decide if it's worth printing it out and trying to make it like a tiny bit smaller, or if I just want to make the print take up the whole page and then edit and post. I feel like I generally see people do this and they have margins so that they can cut it really easily. I am not sure. I am not sure. Honestly, I kind of think I'm gonna do it, just go with it. It is so big. I'm so scared about having to do something in marker that is this big. This is crazy. I do wish that I had a light table. I don't, but I do have this like sunlight lamp that I turn on for a few hours every day when I work. And I'm wondering if I can use that. Okay, I mean, is this the best use? Is this better than a light table? No. Am I gonna freaking do it anyway? Yes. Good morning. So I'm gonna sit on it for a while. I meant like actually a full day. Okay, so what I have done is I cleaned up this sketch. I'm not like 1,000% happy with the hair in the corner, but I think I'm just gonna go with it. Otherwise, I think it's looking okay. I did add like a done stripe on it, hoping that I need to make sure that this neck doesn't kind of make it look like it's continuing, since it's not, but I did add like a done stripe, and I am gonna probably try to add some like scales to some extent, like a little bit, that are not super crazy, but I started like marking them in a little bit. You know, we talked about this color comp. I tried to figure out how to get the red closer to the palette that I'm looking for, which is more of like a red brown than like a true fire engine kind of red. So I started kind of looking through my colors to see what I could make work. I did do 4 other color comps. Here, I'll just put them like here or something so you can see. So I did more, and then I had my friends tell me what they liked, and I think I'm going with the tail being like a red. So I was trying to figure out how the red interacted with the other markers, again, to try to make it like more of a chestnut kind of color, not quite as brown as this, but not, you know, fire engine red. So I think that's where we're at, and I kind of think I'm ready to fill in the marker, and I will start a time lapse for that. I did kind of decide that I think I am going to color the background all the way up to the edge. For better or for worse, I can try to fix it in Photoshop. I do need to find a scanner. Everywhere I looked on Reddit said that like you have to get one that's like $600 or more for it to be any good. So I might end up just having to take pictures. I wish that I could do digital art and not feel handcuffed, I guess. I don't know, like digital art makes me feel so limited. But now, if this turns out good, trying to get it on the computer without owning a scanner and without having access to a scanner is gonna suck. But oh well, let's go.